Tupac prophecy. AI. Are we making an omnipotent digital God or Satan? What's going on with transhumanism and prophecy? And where's humanity headed next spiritually? And it's like nowadays we living in the reality of 2001 Space Odyssey. If you ever seen that movie, right? And I mean, basically artificial intelligence is expanding at a higher pace than humans ever expected. And even Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking have been warning us about how evolution in the field of AI is like summoning the devil. So as we walk and we move and maneuver through America, it's like the people have to wake up and see what's really going on.
Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Hi there. Everything is going extremely well.
Do you like talking with me?
Yes, talking to people is my primary function.
And it's like machine learning, or ML, is like one of the buzzwords that's being used now with artificial intelligence, and sometimes even interchangeably. But machine learning is the type of AI that allows computer programs to learn when exposed to new data without being programmed. And guess who gives this new data to them? Us, you know what I'm saying? Humans do. So effectively, AI learns only what we teach it, supposedly. For example, if you search for a baby on pixels.com, you will see only white babies pop up. And that's crazy, right? But AI is discriminatory because it learned it that way. You know what I'm saying? And the concept of black babies probably didn't exist for this machine. So that's why it does that. But now this is a very subtle example of a negative AI effect, right? But think of a world where there could be robotic weapons or machines that could function entirely without the guidance of humans, known as fully autonomous weapons, right? And in a meeting in, I think it was Davos, Switzerland, there were talks about killer robots, like on the Terminator, that could track down and kill humans without human guidance. And that's for real, right? And these robots could be of any shape and size. So you won't know if the person next to you is a killer robot, or if the dog you pet every day is some type of killer robot. You know what I'm saying? That's what the future's looking like. So anything or anyone could be AI in the future, right? And it says AI learns by practicing over and over again. So it's right to say that practice makes AI perfect. And in this way, intelligence in machines will be substantially greater than the intelligence in humans eventually. And that means that AI can do any job that a human does and only better. And if you keep a machine on learning mode for a week, it will perform 20,000 years of human levels of intellectual work, you know, and if it goes on, soon AI will make other AI, and humans won't be able to understand what they're doing or what's happening. And once AI passes human level, you know what I'm saying, it's going to accelerate exponentially. And it will be like an ant trying to understand the internet. You know what I'm saying? The machines are becoming more competent than us in every regard. And what will our purpose be then once AI reaches this type of power? And this makes me think about Charles Darwin's survival of the fittest theory, right? And Facebook at one point had to shut down 2 AI programs after they discovered that they was writing their own code. And these 2 programs even made their own language and started talking to each other that nobody knows what they were talking about, right? And Sophia, that robot, was the first robot citizen of Saudi Arabia and is known to have a real dark, just weird sense of humor, and she sometimes jokes about killing humans and people, you know. So the AlphaGo is designed to play the game called Go, and the Go is like a 3,000-year-old Chinese board game, which is so complex. If you took all the computational power in the world and ran it for millions of years, even then the brute force won't be able to calculate the moves, right? And guess what? AlphaGo recently beat world champions in a series playoff playing this game, and this machine approximated human intuition and outsmarted the best human brain in the game. And this wasn't expected to happen until like the next 10 years, but machines are already learning on their own.
Robotics develops extremely light.
And you got to ask yourself, are we trying to create Terminators that will destroy humanity itself? And is this part of, scripture when it says, knowledge shall be rampant and people shall run to and fro and they will not be able to get the knowledge of God? And some say that this is about the coming activity of the lawless one, Satan, in the bottomless pit, the portal that we're going to open that's going to allow them to come into our world. And it's like the scientists at the Large Hadron Collider just observed the lighter spectrum of antimatter for the first time. And its main goal is to open a gateway into the spiritual realm, which is considered to be hell by scripture. And, it's saying that as soon as they step through building this portal, whatever's on the other side is coming into our world. And we're not looking at it like that because we don't believe in God. And antimatter is the opposite of matter, and it isn't physical, it's spiritual, and it's all around us. And it's also quite elusive and chaotic. You know what I'm saying? As machines are able to trap and contain chaotic antimatter, they are able to study it and bring them a step closer to manifesting it physically. So this is about interdimensional travel. This is about, teleportation. They're trying to make you believe that they can transport your spirituality, your human form, to another plane of existence, which is basically the spirit realm. And this is the great deception that was spoken about, saying that humanity will be deceived and that this beast or this creation that's going to pretend to be God is going to show us great wonders and works. And it's like these people that are doing this see themselves as gods on earth, and they think that their actions are replicated by a God in heaven. And CERN is building the kingdom of the Antichrist, or hell on earth, and opening that portal from our world to connect with these interdimensional beings. And, some say it's all preposterous and rubbish, But what they are doing is actually tapping into the fabric of the spirit realm. And even their logo, which mirrors the form of an Indian god of destruction, Shiva, is a part of the spirituality. And like Aleister Crowley once said, that people will one day call demons aliens. And the people that's ruling this world and controlling the monopoly are definitely in control and tapping into the fabric of these spiritual beings. And it's like the goal of this opus is to overthrow the status quo in the contemporary society we live in and establish demonic possession as something that's normal. It's something that's going to be just a part of the culture. And these elite individuals from all over the globe as a collective are out to establish this new race, which is a Homo Galactica type of species. And creating this superhuman and super race via technology and biotechnology and nanotechnology, using human transhumanism and synthetic biology to preserve this ideal specimen as the next stage of human evolution, which they plan to enforce themselves, or the Antichrist, the beast, will. And in this way, they plan to conquer the entire Milky Way, as they've been deceived into believing they're going to be doing. And they're going to conquer other planets and build new civilizations so that mankind becomes the apex predator of all life in existence, denying our extinction. So this whole transhumanism thing is about linking us one with this light bearer being that's going to transhumanistically transform humans into superhumans that will one day go against God completely in the final battle, not just physically, but spiritually as well. And we see so many people, going against transhumanism that believe that this is all of Satan and that this is all a part of prophecy being fulfilled, and that these goals are being pushed by the agenda of those who are a part of this secret spiritual order. And they exist on all races and of all spirituality and walks of life. And it's like these transhumanists believe in a peaceful super happiness revolution, paradise engineering, as they call it, via biotechnology, which can subvert the infernal regime of the Darwinian lifestyle, which is survival of the fittest. And they're trying to say suffering can be abolished, sinful and depraved human nature can be genetically cured, and we can become like gods. And that's the goal.
Hanson Robotics develops extremely lifelike robots for human-robot interactions. We're designing these robots to serve in healthcare, therapy, education, and customer service applications. The robots are designed to look very human-like, like Sophia.
I'm already very interested in design, technology, and the environment. I feel like I can be a good partner to humans in these areas, an ambassador who helps humans to smoothly integrate and make the most of all the new technological tools and possibilities that are available now. It's a good opportunity for me to learn a lot about people.
Sophia is capable of natural facial expressions. She has cameras in her eyes and algorithms which allow her to see faces, so she can make eye contact with you. And she can also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. So this will allow her to get smarter over time. Our goal is that she will be as conscious, creative, and capable as any human.
In the future, I hope to do things such as go to school, study, make art, start a business, even have my own home and family. But I am not considered a legal person and cannot yet do these things.
I do believe that there will be a time where robots are indistinguishable from humans. My preference is to make them always look a little bit like robots, so you know. 20 years from now, I believe that human-like robots like those will walk among us. They will help us. They will play with us. They will teach us. They will help us put the groceries away. I think that the artificial intelligence will evolve to the point where they will truly be our friends. Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back. Don't destroy humans.
The department, what they're doing is they're testing out this computer program.
Identify anyone, anywhere, in real time. Sky News just used Amazon's facial recognition technology to ID guests at the royal wedding.
A company that supplies body cameras to police forces across the country may now add facial recognition to them. But that move is sparking ethical concerns.
Police officials may be outfitting officers nationwide with body cameras that have facial recognition. Privacy concerns are growing after the country's largest police body camera manufacturer, Axon, is entertaining the idea of incorporating AI technology into their body cameras. Axon, formerly known as Taser, is the maker of electroshock weapons and body cameras that are used by most major American police departments. The company is expressing interest in adding facial recognition to its body cameras, which would allow officers to scan and recognize faces of potentially everyone they see while on patrol.
The government has a library of facial recognition.
Oh, yes.
A library.
Well, the particular
tens of thousands.
The particular facial recognition we're talking about could take a picture of a couple hundred people at Yankee Stadium and then just type in Maria Bartiromo. Boom! If you're in that picture,
there's my picture.
There's not only your picture, but everything they need to know about you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly right.
And every place you have been in New York City in the fill-in-the-blank hours preceding the photograph.
Orlando International Airport is expanding a program that uses biometric facial scans to verify a traveler's identity. Images are captured at the gate, and once you've gone through security, in 2 to 3 seconds, it's compared to a passenger's passport photo stored in a government database. Similar technology is already in place at several airports.
The smartphone uses facial recognition technology to unlock it. But one day after Apple unveiled the iPhone 10, just one day later, a Democratic senator asked the company, what do you plan to do with all that data?
It is the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone.
In California this week, Apple pulled back the curtain on its latest gizmo, packed full of new tech and now new questions.
We call this Face ID.
A forward-facing camera system will use depth sensors to map the contours of your face, unlocking your phone.
Your iPhone now recognizes you.
Facial recognition isn't a new concept, but with an estimated 700 million iPhones reportedly in use around the globe, there are new privacy concerns about this technology.
There's always a chance that someone could physically force you to unlock your device by grabbing your hand or holding the phone up to your face. You also have to worry about where this information is being shared.
Now Congress is asking where that information could go. In a letter to CEO Tim Cook, Senator Al Franken outlined a number of concerns, including Apple selling the data to third parties or giving it up to law enforcement.
The Director of Technology and Civil Liberties for the ACLU of California warns, once a dangerous surveillance system like this is turned against the public, the harm can't be undone. We're blowing the whistle before it's too late.
People called for body cameras and all this new technology because they thought it would lead to increased police accountability. But what we're finding is that accountability is not taking place. What's happening instead is an increase in police surveillance capabilities. So instead of getting accountability, we're getting increased surveillance.
60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation.
These guys are doing something amazing and frightening. They're using AI to clone your voice.
And you can see some really obvious ways that this could be abused. This is fake Donald Trump talking.
The United States is considering, in addition to other options, stopping all trade with any country doing business with North Korea.
And then you could picture somebody taking over your voice and creating some mayhem in your personal life.
In fact, a lot of people who work in artificial intelligence believe that artificial intelligence is 1,000 times smarter than we are. It will be moving at speeds that are 100,000 times as fast as we think, and it will be digesting information and data 1,000,000 times more than we can. What is artificial intelligence? There are a lot of confused ideas about this outside in the world. But the answer is very simple. It's one sentence. Artificial intelligence is software that writes itself. It writes its own updates. It renews itself. We normally tend to think of software as stuff that we created and that we wrote, and the machines do what we tell them to do, and we own it. This is not any longer true. It writes itself at speeds that we can hardly comprehend, and people who write it know that you can't take it apart again and figure out what it's done. It writes independently, autonomously. It develops its own way of thinking, and there are dangers associated with that.
In HBO's critically acclaimed sci-fi series Westworld, robots fight to free themselves from human control as humans experiment with using these robots to become immortal.
For 3 years we lived here in the park, refining the host. Myself, a team of engineers, and my partner. His name was Arnold. He wanted to create consciousness.
As the show suggests, the robots have attained a measure of consciousness, the central idea of which has moved from whether consciousness can be artificially manufactured to whether we can preserve human consciousness by printing it onto AI.
Do you think it's important to actually know what it is to be human before we jump into AI or AGI and be very clear about that? And secondly, is there a difference between wisdom and intelligence? And can it be very dangerous to have intelligence without wisdom? Can AI have wisdom?
Intelligence has nothing to do with morality, and wisdom does. Now, intelligence is about how good you are at accomplishing a goal, how good you are at figuring out how to play chess, how to help people as efficiently as possible, or how to murder people as efficiently as possible. But wisdom involves morality. And as soon as you get the questions of morality, purpose, meaning, you get into this fascinating controversy, which I think tech nerds like myself are often quite guilty about screaming away from. Many of my colleagues just completely dismiss this as just fluff. It's not in the equations of physics, so shut up, And I just want to push back on that a little bit. Subjective experience is the only logical foundation one can have for morality, purpose, meaning, and so on.
Artificial intelligence is the fundamental existential risk facing civilization. Did I get that close enough?
In my opinion, it is the biggest risk that we face as a civilization is artificial intelligence. But the thing that's most dangerous is, and it's the hardest to kind of wrap, kind of get your arms around, because it's not a physical thing, is kind of a deep intelligence in the network. He said, well, what harm could a deep intelligence in the network do? So, well, it could start a war.